You know, we've been, this is actually the second in a series of lessons that have been inspired by this wonderful book called You Are a Bad Bleep, Ass. You know, you can say that word. It's a, you know, you can say it, badass. Yes. But I love the subtitle of it. It's called How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness, even if you do say that word, and start living an awesome life. Now, I'm going to go through this, and she has words that I probably don't feel comfortable saying, so you may hear a bleep every now and then, but she has some amazing and beautiful ways of putting this message and giving us an understanding and awareness of who and what we truly are. We are oftentimes taught. You know, one of my, let me say it this way, one of my early teachers, when I first came into Unity Ministry, I had the opportunity of hearing Louise Hay speak for the first time while I was in ministerial school. And she came to Unity Village and spoke to us, and it absolutely was life-changing for me. Because one of the things that I understand and got from her is that the whole purpose of us being here is to love. The you that is the essence of your being is always loving. Now, here's the thing. One of the things that came to me from some of my work with Louise Hay's work on You Can Heal Your Life is that I came to an awareness in one of my meditations that when you are loving yourself, what you're actually doing is allowing the energy and the power of the divine, which is love, to flow through you as love for yourself. It's not selfish. It's not aggrandizement either. It's not, interestingly enough, when we think we are needing more love, in reality what we're really saying to the universe is, I want to experience needing more love. Because we're creative beings, and that's the way our minds and the way the universe works. And so the reality is we actually don't need more love. You can never have more love than already exists. It's already infinite. But what we can do, the only thing that really it seems to be missing in our lives and in our world is not love, but our awareness of love and our awareness of ourselves as that energy and that power of love in and of itself. And so part of what we're here to do is unfold a greater awareness of the power that exists within us. One of the things he starts off in this chapter on saying is that she was hanging out with her brother Bobby, and they were lying on the couch watching their this two-year-old, waddled around on the floor and dropped something on the floor, and watching and observing this two-year-old and just admiring how it absolutely, the two-year-old bent its knees, reached down with a straight back and picked it up. And absolutely admiring the understanding that this two-year-old instinctively knew how to pick up an object off of the floor. And said, if I had done that, I would have been over and broken my back. and so one of the observations was, you know, this two-year-old has an instinctive knowing of what the body can do and what it needs to do and how it needs to do it. And what she says is that every one of us come into this world with an instinctive knowing of who and what we are, with an instinctive knowing of our greater possibilities, with an instinctive awareness of an intuitive knowing of the light and the beauty. One of the things Louise Hay says that it really kind of gets people is that babies love every part of themselves. They will gladly take feces and smear it all over themselves. and just love every bit of it. Now, I'm not recommending that. You're welcome to do that if you choose. There also is, discernment that comes along at some point, hopefully. But the reality is, there is a love that is within every one of us that doesn't necessarily judge who and what we are and how we are. And that divine love is always in us. And part of our unfolding and work is to begin to tune into that more and be able to really experience that. And that's the very essence of the power of healing in our lives. Now, she says that there are countless ways that we rip ourselves off in terms of understanding who and what we are. She says it's like we're born with a big bag of money, more than enough to fund any dream of ours, and instead of following our instincts and our intuition and our hearts, we invest in what other people believe we should invest in. How many know what I'm talking about? How many of you are actually right now investing in something that someone else said that you need to be invested in? How many of you are being the person that someone else says you're supposed to be? I suspect on some level we're all doing that. Whether we're trying to be the perfect parent to our child and be the way that they think that we're supposed to be, or vice versa. Perhaps we're trying to be the perfect child to a parent. Or probably, maybe we're trying to be the kind of person, if I could just be the kind of person that this person loves, then they'll love me. Is that really true?
No.
Are they really loving you? No. What they're loving is who they want you to be. And if we're giving up who we are for the purpose of being what someone else wants us to be, she doesn't say it quite this way, but I'm going to say it this way. We are robbing them and ourselves and the world of the only you there is. You are here for the purpose of being you. Let me say that again. You are here for the purpose of being you, because everybody else is already taken. But as much as we try to be somebody else, we are actually robbing ourselves and the world of the amazing and wonder of the possibilities and the gifts and the flaws and the learning and the growing and the struggling and the overcoming that is you. You are a magnificent creation, and you are creating magnificence in your life, even if it looks like a screw-up. Because, we are either experiencing life through the eyes of a child who is continually learning how to be in the world and express more of that instinctual nature, or we are continually going through life trying to fit into the mold that life tries to put around us. And part of the work of really our spiritual development and our growth, and to really be the best badass person that you can be, is to really begin to understand that not everything that someone else says that you need to be is really for you. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to necessarily be, I'm going to say it, you don't necessarily need to flip them off. But you need to also not necessarily take it in. And that's one of the keys, I believe, for us learning how to truly love ourselves, to love who and what we truly are. We are not created as small beings. We're not created here to simply be in a form that the world is trying to put us into. Paul put it this way: don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. We're in that process of being transformed by renewing our awareness of who and what we are and who and what we have come here to be and what we are here to share and what we're here to give. So in order to really love yourself, she's got some steps here. I want to go through some steps fairly quickly. One is you have to learn to really acknowledge and appreciate how incredible and special you truly are, and be open to that. Be open to that. And then one of the things that I have found valuable for myself is that when I begin to get into an awareness of how unique this being is that is me, and notice all the stuff that seems to come up that doesn't resonate with that. There's a part of me that when I think of being special, I kind of go, oh, well, no, I'm not that special. You guys have heard me do it. Yeah. I've done it here. Rather than just acknowledge that there is something about me that is amazing, that's unique and special. And when I come from an understanding of that, I don't have to prove it to anyone. I don't have to prove it to the world. I don't have to get validation of it. I know it. And when I love, accept, and truly honor the truth of who and what I am, I don't have to get somebody else to try and do that for me. I don't have to get the world to be the way I think it needs to be. I don't have to change what's going on out here in my life. I can go through whatever circumstances and situations are going on in life in an energy that is more powerful, more unique, more beautiful than any circumstance that my unconscious mind is creating for me. See, the unconscious mind does create opportunities to challenge who we are. Do you realize that? It does. It does it primarily for the purpose of realizing that we have stuff that are going on in us unconsciously that's not reflecting who we are. It's to help bring it more into our awareness so that it can be transformed by the renewing of our mind, and we can begin to see ourselves from a different perspective and see ourselves more clearly and look beyond those yeah buts, as I call them. We all got yeah buts. Some of our yeah buts are bigger than others, and that's beautiful, you know. But they're not necessarily here to show us who we are. One of the things she says to do is drown yourself also in affirmations. Now, folks, affirmations work. Yeah. Can I ask you to do something for me? Would you say that out loud? Affirmations work. Say it again. Affirmations work. We're going to do some more. Affirmations work. So when we begin to affirm ourselves and begin to work with this understanding, she's got some great affirmations here. I deserve and receive massive amounts of love every moment of every day. Let me say it again. I deserve and receive massive amounts of love every moment and every day. Let's say it together. I deserve and receive massive amounts of love every moment and every day. See, we're actually helping to reshape and form our subconscious messages and our subconscious mind. Now, when we say things like that, one of the things I have found is that oftentimes there is that little niggling yeah, but going on that says, oh, that's not true. I don't understand. You know, I'm really just kind of, you know, and I don't know if, and I'm not. But what about that time, you know? And you guys hear that little voice in there? So, you know, for years I really fought all that. And what I have kind of come to learn over, actually just more this year, through the work of Matt Kahn. You heard me talk about Matt Kahn's work. And he has this amazing practice, and amazing work called Whatever Arises, Love That. And so if I try to push away this negative, this limiting voice, it just gets louder and louder, and it's still there, and you know, I try and push it down and try and hide from it. It doesn't seem to work. But what I have found is just sending love, just say to that part of me that is that niggling little voice of doubt, of insecurity, of not good enough, if I'm willing to love that part of me that's not good enough, guess what? That energy of love transforms that sense and that feeling and that experience of not good enough. And so let's just say, I'm willing to love the part of me that feels not good enough.
I'm willing to love the part of me that feels not good enough.
Let's say it again. I'm willing to love the part of me that feels not good enough.
I'm willing to love the part of me that feels not good enough.
I'm willing to love the part of me that feels not good enough.
I'm willing to love the part of me that feels not good enough.
Now just breathe into your heart space and just ask yourself if you are willing to feel that feeling of love for even that part of you. You see, one of the things that Louise Hay teaches, and one of the things that she talks about in this, You Are a Badass, and Overcoming Our Doubt, is that the bottom line for all of us in terms of what is creating the difficulties, the challenges, the hurts, the pains, the sorrows in our life is that we have accepted a core idea or belief that we're not good enough, that we're not smart enough, we're not big enough, we're not powerful enough, we're not strong enough, we're not loving enough, we're not loved enough, we don't have enough, not pretty enough, not handsome enough. If that's God calling, tell him I'll get, oh. It is God calling, it's always God. So this not enoughness is really kind of at the essence. And one of the things, I had a wonderful training yesterday from a great personal coach, and her name is actually fading from me right now, but one of the things that really stood out for me is that she was talking about helping people to discover what their life purpose is. And that's one of the things that's in this section also. We all have a purpose for being here. And that purpose is actually something that is greater than who we are, but at the same time, it is part of the essence of who and what we are. And one of the things that really stuck out for me that she uses to help people discover what their purpose is she helps them to look at and find what is their primary core limiting belief. And she said there are three primary ones, and I can only remember two of them because I'm,
Yours is I don't know.
And mine is I don't know, yeah, exactly. One of them, of course, is what Louise Hay says, is that I'm not good enough, or the feeling of undeserving in some way. And then the second one is not coming to me either, but that's enough. At the core of all of them, it was part of the reason I think I'm not remembering all three of them is because I was thinking when I heard this, really at the essence of all of them is this feeling of not good enough. So ultimately, I really think there's only one. So one of the things that she said, in order for us to really discover our true purpose in life, is to actually show and teach others not only that they're good enough, but how wonderful they are. I'm going to suggest to you that that's actually one of the purposes for every one of us. Because when we do that, there's a law in this universe. You guys have heard of this law. Jesus put it this way, as you sow, you reap. What you put out comes back. And if you will make it your purpose to make sure that the people around you know how amazing and how wonderful and how special they are, they may not be in a place where they can truly accept it. They may not be in a place where they can give it back. But I can tell you, you will live in a world where the world shows you over and over again how wonderful and how amazing and how special you are. when you radiate that out to the world cannot help but bring it back to you. Now, here's the challenge that we run into is we think it's supposed to come from a particular person, in a particular way, at a particular time. And when it doesn't show up in the way that we think it's supposed to, and when it doesn't show up from the person we think it's supposed to, and when it doesn't show up in a particular form or circumstance that we think it's supposed to, we go, well, that's not love. That must mean I'm not loved. And we translate that into, again, this experience of not feeling loved, of not being good enough. And so the work is not necessarily to get others to reflect that back to us, but to continue to emanate out into the world the beauty and the wonder, and to see it out in the world. And in the very act of doing that, we are transforming our heart and mind, as Paul said. We are transforming ourselves by being the love that we truly are. Last week we talked about the understanding that the world kind of has taught us to in a backwards way. The world has taught us that if we have more love, money, friends, whatever, then we can do more with that, and that means that we can be happy, healthy, loved, and it's totally reversed, totally backwards. Because the truth is, if we are being love in our life, if we are being abundance, generous, caring, giving, sharing, we are actually then doing those things that allow that beingness to express in the world. And by allowing that beingness to express in the world then reflects back to us that same kind of energy. If we go through life with the energy of fear, the world loves us so much it will give us all the fear we ever could use and ever want. Doesn't discern, doesn't discriminate. If that's what we're putting out, that's what we're bringing back. And so part of our unfolding as spiritual beings is to really begin to understand the unique ways that we are being brought into experiences for the purpose of sharing more of our light. And then when we find that the world is trying to put us in a box, when we're trying to, when it's trying to say, no, that's risky, you can't do that. You can't be that loving. You can't be that good. You can't be that prosperous. You can't be that, because that's not how I see you. And the way I see you, of course, is most important, right? Anybody have that kind of energy in your life? You are here not to make them wrong, but to just simply be the truth of who and what you are, to be the love that you are, to be the brilliance that you are, to be the light that you are, to be the abundance that you are, to be the health and life that you are. This is the essence of you, and you're here to share that and to help others in your world to see that within themselves. Just can you imagine what this world would look like and feel like, and the kind of world you will be in when you learn to love the essence of who you are and then share that out to those around you? I believe that's our purpose and our mission, and that's one of the things that makes us the most amazing and wonderful and beautiful badass, spiritual badass, by the way, spiritual badass people, and that is the essence of your unique spiritual badassery. And only you can do it. I can't do it for you. Only you can be the beauty that you are. That's our lesson for this week, maybe the next week, maybe the one after that, maybe the rest of our lives. But we start here and now. Now is the moment of power. And so I want you to really affirm for yourself, I am willing to love and accept myself exactly as I am. Together? I'm willing to love and accept myself exactly as I am. Now just notice how that feels. If it feels great, hold it. If it feels like, oh, wait a minute, there's this, then notice that voice, that feeling, that whatever that is, that can't seem to feel comfortable with saying that. And just say to that part of you, I love you. Because it's there trying to keep you safe. Doesn't understand that's not the truth of who you are. So just say, I love you anyway. And that's our lesson for the week. And so it is. As you breathe in and out, just allow that flow of the breath to move through you. And as you breathe in and out, just to let a sense of relaxation and peace come over you. And allow yourself to be in that sense and that feeling of openness. Openness to the accepting, to the valuing, and to the appreciating of who and what you are here and now, and who and what you have come here to be. You are a gift. Let yourself be open to feeling and knowing the truth of that. Jesus said, you are the light of the world, and we're here to let that light shine, not put it under a bushel, but to allow ourselves to be the light and be willing to let go of anything that would dim or diminish any thoughts and feelings and the sense of awesomeness and wonder that exists and resides in the very essence of our nature. And let us just simply say to our true self, to our wholeness, I'm willing. I'm willing to be all that I am, and I'm willing to love and accept all that I am. Breathing in and out, we give thanks for the healing power, the healing energy of accepting and loving our true being and our true nature. And all of the imagined flaws, knowing that they're not real and they're not the truth. Breathing in and out. We breathe into the heart space. Let an energy of acceptance and peace and love and possibility radiate. And in your heart and mind now, see that energy, that light emanating from your own heart to those in your life and world, and see them in their glory, in their awesomeness. in the wonder of who they uniquely are. Yes, even with those things that push our buttons. Take a nice deep breath. Let your awareness come back into this room, this time and place. Take another nice deep breath. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. And so it is. Amen.